Believe it or not, we are halfway through these wonderful 40 days of Lent. And in the first reading, we are presented Abraham to help us think about our ancestors in faith and what faith meant to them. St. Thomas Aquinas remarks and claims that an art of faith consists essentially in knowledge. Faith is an intellectual art whose object is the truth. Faith, therefore, has both a subjective and objective aspect. From the side of the subject, it is the mind's assent to what is not seen, as the letter to the Hebrews chapter 11 verse 1 reminds us that faith is the evidence of things not seen. I wish to encourage you to make prayer a very necessary need in your life. To make prayer a very necessary part of your journey. The question becomes, what does prayer do for us? Prayer helps us to encounter God for who He is without expectation, which enables us to live our lives in obedience to the will of God, to the will of God for us in peace and in joy. That is what Abraham did. Like Aquinas remarked, Abraham knew that God will always provide. And in that knowledge, he was willing to obey God in peace and joy. My dear friends, maybe life is already difficult, or the season has become so tough for us. My hope is that the knowledge of God will always keep us in peace and joy. And I would like to share with you this beautiful story of a little boy who went to the drugstore with his mom. And then he kept looking at the container that has some candy. He kept looking at it. And then the good man who owns the store noticed that and called out and said, "Do you need some candy?" And he nodded. And then the young man said, "Go ahead and pick some for yourself." But the little kid kept mute and was just standing there. He didn't move. He didn't do what he was asked to do. And then the storekeeper assumed that he was shy or afraid to go for it. So he reached out and grabbed some candy and helped him and filled his pocket. So as they stepped out of the store, the mom was surprised that he didn't take some candy. And he asked him, "Why did you not go for it when the storekeeper said it was okay to go for it?" And the young man said to the mom, "I knew if he grabbed some for me, I would gain more than I would have, because his palm is bigger than mine." That is smart. Prayer helps us to acknowledge in faith that if we wait for God to do it for us by standing still, that we will gain more than we could ordinarily gain by ourselves. The young man knew that if he expressed interest that he needed some candy, but allow the owner of the candy to reach out, that his pocket will be more full than he would have if he did it himself. My hope for you and for myself is that we will always acknowledge our need for God. And prayer helps us to do that. Prayer helps us to stay connected and express our need for God while waiting for Him to reach out and fill our pockets with the good that He intends for us. On this second Sunday of Lent, as we develop and improve on our prayer lives, may we know the beauty of standing still and waiting for God to fill our pockets with His graces, with His goodness, with His love, with His peace and joy. God bless you.